Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to come on today and give you guys a very quick update of my first progress scans. I had a PET scan and a CT scan 3 months after I started chemo. So I wanted to update you guys on that. But before we jump in, I wanted to thank you all that are currently subscribed to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you click the button below and be sure to subscribe for more details regarding my personal breast cancer journey. Let's get started. I'm going to jump right in and give you guys a little bit of details of what I talked to my oncologist about and how things are going so far with the progress of chemo for my particular cancer treatment. So let's get started. Okay, so a lot of you have been following my journey since my diagnosis in September with invasive ductal carcinoma. And I am triple negative. I think we talked about that early on. If you have any questions or curious about what that means, please feel free to take a look at my very first cancer diagnosis post. I'm going to actually put the link here for you to take a look at. But I am triple negative, and I was diagnosed as stage 4. I had cancer that spread to my sternum. So it was just in one spot in my bone. I didn't have any spread to any vital organs or anything beyond that, which was great. So I've been doing gemcitabine, carboplatin, and then we've added Keytruda, which is an immunotherapy, and that has been over the course of 3 months. I'm on 21-day cycles. I get chemo on week 1 and week 2, and then I have a week off to allow my blood cell counts to increase. So towards the last week of December, so the week of, I think it was the week of New Year's Eve, that Monday we did a new PET scan and a new CT scan to take a look and see how the progress has been going for my current chemo treatment. And the results were absolutely astounding, absolutely incredible, more than I could have ever imagined that they would be. So I'm super excited to share that with you guys. And I really hope that if you're new to this journey and you're just getting started, especially if you are triple negative, know that we have options now. We have more options than we ever have had in the past. And stage 4 doesn't have to be this daunting death sentence any longer. So we have those tools in our tool belts, and it's important for you to advocate for yourself when you're speaking to your oncologist, your care team, your infusion team. They are there to help and work with you to create a plan that is unique to your specific needs. And again, not all treatment plans are going to work the same as they do for everyone. So it's important to find out your specific needs and work towards a goal that you and your oncologist come up with. That's extremely important. So I do want you to know that. Stage 4 it's extremely hard to get a complete response. I think initially I was told that the odds of getting a complete response on chemo alone for stage 4 breast cancer was maybe 10%. So extremely, extremely rare. I met with my oncologist a couple of days ago, and we did review the scans. I am ecstatic to share with you guys that my results were absolutely remarkable. As of right now, the only active cancer that I currently have in my body is in a very small lymph node that was once about 5 centimeters. It's now just at about 3 centimeters. That is the only active cancer that I have. The mass, it was 14 centimeters in my breast. It was massive. It has almost decreased to half the size. I think it's right at 8 centimeters right now. On the PET scan and CT scan, the breast mass that is left shows no active cancer. It is literally necrosis. So dead skin cells, that sort of thing in the lump in my breast. There's no active cancer that we can see. And then for the spread that was in my sternum, it has actually also has no active cancer and is now just scar tissue. So I think they refer to that in the bone as sclerosis. So as of right now, there's only one tiny spot that's left in my lymph node, in one lymph node. So the results were absolutely amazing for me, extremely rare, and it was not something that I had anticipated or even expected, especially this early on in my cancer treatment, with it being just 3 months. So my oncologist and I have discussed a new plan of action. He wants to continue on the current treatment since I am tolerating it extremely well. He doesn't think that I have plateaued on the current treatment that I am on, so he wants to keep going with that. And the reason being is important. The way that he explained it to me is that I I still do have a small amount of active cancer that can be seen on PET and CT scan in my lymph node. However, it is highly likely that there are microscopic cancer cells that are floating around out there that we don't want to chance it to. He explained to me that a PET scan, I believe, can see cancer at 1 centimeter. So anything smaller than that, it won't detect. So those are called microscopic cancer cells. So chemo does a kind of a cleanup treatment, so to speak. So he wants to continue on the current treatment plan for at least another 3 to 6 months. So we will retest again at 3 months to see how the lymph node is doing. And also, he actually has changed my plan to heavily consider going into surgery at this point. Now, this is not a typical treatment plan for stage 4. The way it was explained to me is that in stage 4, to pause your treatment for surgery and for recovery can be extremely risky, especially when 9 times out of 10, you cannot remove all of the cancer. Meaning if you have a spread to your bones or your vital organs, that sort of thing, yes, you can remove the cancer from its original source, but that means you would still be going in and leaving cancer. I can't remove my sternum. I can't remove a vital organ. So that being said, stage 4 kind of limits you to what treatment options may be available. That's not to say that it's completely out of the question. In this situation, since I have had I'm almost considered a complete response. If I didn't have the small spot in my lymph node, I would actually be considered as being in remission at this point. So once we clear that spot up or remove it during surgery, that sort of thing, then I will be considered as in remission. No evidence of disease detected, or what they call NED status. So he thinks that we should capitalize on the results that we currently have, which I'm really excited about. I'm totally terrified of surgery, and it really wasn't something I've even thought about or considered since we initially talked about my treatment plan, but we wanted to see how my body would respond to the current treatment, if I would need to try something else if it didn't work. But as long as I can sustain the deep response that I have received, he wants to consider surgery and then radiation. a radiation treatment plan as well to my sternum, to my breast, and to the lymph nodes in my armpit. So all three of those, so that we can clear up as much as we possibly can of any leftover cancers, and in hopes to be able to be completely clear of it. So it's really exciting. I incredible results. I was speechless at my appointment, and we were able to review the original scans side by side with the current scans, and I have never been so overwhelmed with joy and emotion and so much excitement. And starting this 3 months ago to where I am now, I never would have imagined that I would tolerate the drugs that I'm on so well. Minimal side effects that have been completely manageable for me. I've been extremely blessed throughout this process, and I'm so blessed that I don't look like what I've been through, and I don't take that lightly. I have so many close friends in this same realm in my support group, and close friends that I know personally as well, that have an extremely rough go at chemo, and that's typically the norm. Everyone's different, side effects are different, but it can be really, really hard. It takes a toll on your body. It takes a toll on your mental, your emotional state. It's very stressful, and it's not easy by all means. So I don't take that lightly. That I have, been able to tolerate it very well and manage my side effects along with my infusion team to a point where I'm not, no loss of appetite, no nausea still. I still have my hair, no weight loss, nothing strenuous. It's been fatigue, my normal side effects that we've talked about: fatigue, constipation, little diarrhea here and there. I do get bone pain and body aches after the Neulasta injection, but again, very manageable with over-the-counter medications. But I do attribute a lot of my particular experience with having a great infusion team that works with me on every single appointment to figure out if I am struggling or if I'm going through a certain side effects. How can they help? How can we tweak things if we need to? And that's been paramount for my success. I personally think, in my treatment plan and being able to manage that. I do say this, strongly. Do not suffer. One thing my infusion team and also my oncologist told me in the very beginning: there is no reason why, with the current technology that we have, the current advancements and medication that we have, that you should have to suffer through side effects. There is almost always a solution to any side effect that you experience, whether that means they tweak your pre-meds or your dosage for your drugs or find another option. Don't be afraid to talk to your infusion team about exactly what you're going through. No matter how small you think it is or how big you think it is, always, always, always let them know, because if there's something that they can do, that's what they're there for, and they want to help you through it. So there's no reason why you should feel that, oh, it's not that big a deal, I won't mention it, or I can get by. Don't feel guilty for that. They're here to help you, and that's one thing that I've learned through my process, is being extremely transparent with my oncologist and my infusion team along the way, and they've been able to help me tremendously to get my side effects under control. It took about, I'd say, 3 treatments to get it to where I was able to just kind of cruise through with the fatigue and not as intense as it was, the first couple of treatments, where I couldn't get out of bed, I struggled to lift my own body weight, that sort of thing. Believe it or not, I actually had my 9th infusion yesterday. So today is day 2, and I feel great. I feel absolutely great. aside from a slight bit of constipation, we figured that out. So I'm now taking Colace full dose the day after chemo and the day after that. So I am taking it 2 days, full doses, back to back. And that usually balances me out with the current dosage of medication that I'm on and gets me back to a regular cycle. But if you're having issues with constipation, it's no fun at all. And I get it and I understand that. So talk to your infusion team and work on ways that you can get that under control at home. Colace has been extremely gentle. It's worked great for me, so I think it's a good starting point if you're looking for somewhere to kind of start and ease your way into it. My stomach tolerates it very well too, so I'd highly recommend it if you haven't tried it and you are struggling with constipation. About two or three treatments ago, we've gotten my diarrhea completely under control. I haven't had any issues with diarrhea for a few weeks now, so that's been great. But other than that, things are going well, very well. I am hoping that the current medication that I'm on, it continues to work. We will be testing again, like I said, in 3 months, just to see where we are, make sure I haven't plateaued. If I get any new side effects or any new pain or anything that pops up that's out of the ordinary, I've been instructed to let my oncologist know right away. But so far, so good. We're cruising along where we are. But I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for everything and to be on this journey, being able to share my personal experience and to be able to help others. I have gained so much support, so much strength, and just overall as a whole, this community has been so welcoming to me. And I remembered how scared, how defeated I felt in the beginning, how daunting it all felt when I first got my diagnosis and doing all of these scans and not knowing what to expect, and then being told I'm stage 4 and feeling like the world was going to end, for me, like my world has been turned upside down. And I distinctly remember the feeling in that moment of feeling like my life is never going to be the same. I'm never going to be able to do the things that I do now and have my life back. You feel that way when you initially get your diagnosis, but I can 100% tell you that as a cancer patient, I think that we have a beautiful way of learning to adapt. Not necessarily because we're strong and because we persevere, but because we have no other option but to do what we have to do to survive. And there is such a beautiful connection that we all have to each other because of that, because we've walked in each other's shoes. We know what it feels like to feel helpless and to just feel like, well, this is what I have to do, so that's what I'm going to do to give myself a fighting chance. And we find a new normal, right? So for me, I've learned my routines. I've learned when I feel my best, when I don't. And I started to plan fun things around that. When I have my energy, when I'm at my peak, I do things for me, whether it's just, doing something small, taking a day of self-care, watching TV, giving my body time to recover, listening to my body and resting when I need to rest and not pushing myself past my limits. Those are all things that are so important, and it's important to ask your family and your friends to help you with those sorts of things that you may be struggling with. You never know how much it really does help, especially if you have kids or if you're still working, to just say, hey, can you come over, take the kids for a couple of hours? I just need to get an extra couple hours of sleep. I'm really tired. That's okay, to ask for help and learn how to create that balance for yourself. It's extremely important, but it's also more so important to your healing. and letting your body do what it needs to do so that you can get better. So that's my biggest advice. If you have any questions about my personal experience, please feel free to reach out. Of course, I am not a doctor. I can only give you specific examples and advice based on my own experience and on my particular cancer, my particular cancer drugs. But, if you have questions, specific to me, I'd definitely be happy to answer any questions regarding my journey thus far. But stay tuned. I am going to do another video soon. I've had a lot of questions about my chemo essentials, and I want to share that with you guys, my Amazon wish list, and a couple of other things. A lot of people have asked me personally, like, I don't personally have cancer, but my sister does, or my aunt. What things can I do to help? What are good things to get them, or for their chemo bag, or that sort of thing. So over the past 3 months, I've had an amazing time incorporating my friends, my family, in ways that they can help me, that takes things off my plate and makes it easier for everyone when they want to reach out to you to do something that they know this is something that you need, this is something that you want. So creating a wish list in ways has really, really, helped me a lot, and it's fun and gives me something to look forward to get gifts in the mail from my loved ones, especially since I live in a different state from my immediate family. So it's been great, and I cannot wait to share the ideas of how I incorporated my family and friends into the process when they can't be here. So I'll be sharing that soon, so stay tuned. Again, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be trying to update you guys more and keeping you more in the process. If we move towards the surgery route, I'll definitely be documenting as much as possible the plan there, and after radiation, what does that look like? All of that to kind of keep you all in the loop. I don't know what my surgery options are right now, since I haven't had a chance to meet with the surgeon specifically. So once I go through the next 3 to 6 months on the current chemo treatment that I'm on, and I have a chance to talk to my surgeon, we'll go from there. And then I do, want to explore what other options we have for reconstruction, if that's something, or a route that I decide to take personally. A lot of things are still up in the air, and I really haven't had a lot of time to consider it, but I know that we'll get there soon. So taking it one day at a time. Most importantly, stay focused, believe in miracles, fight as hard as you possibly can, and trust the process 100%. One of my closest friends has given me the greatest advice of anyone that I've met on this journey. And she told me at the very beginning of my treatment, when I felt so lost, that she reminds me constantly that we can do hard things, and nothing resonates more with me than that. I am a walking testament to that. I struggled a lot with anxiety, debilitating anxiety and fear going into this process. And I've done a complete 180 in this entire process. And it's true. We learn to adapt. We dig deep to find a strength at our core that we never knew that we had, because we have to. And if I can do it, you too can do it. I wish you all the most success on your journey. We are all here together. We're in this together. We're rooting for each other. Know that you have the support that you need in us. If you have questions from other cancer thrivers, cancer survivors, everyone is usually so receptive and so willing to help and provide insight, while you're on your journey. So I recommend and encourage reaching out to others that have walked this path, someone to just talk to or confide in, and to help motivate you through the process as much as possible. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I look forward to updating you again soon. Again, if you have any questions, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe. Happy New Year. Thank you.